What's up, guys? This is Frenzy, and this is Zafehouse Diaries. So Zafehouse Diaries, how I would classify this game is basically a zombie apocalypse survival management game. You're not playing the first-person view like you would be in like DayZ or something like that. You're more playing as the overhead control of a group of survivors trying to survive inside of a town and do certain objectives. So there's three modes that you can play in this game. Basically, this is the sandbox, the no survivors. It's basically the sandbox game. There's no time limits, no objective, no escape. You just kind of survive for as long as possible. You start up with one person. Survivors can be found in different buildings and stuff like that. Aggressor dilemmas is basically interaction between different survivors. I'll get into that more because I'm not going to play this mode, and then there's no time limit, and some buildings produce resources. The only thing I would say about this was, and I wish you could move to different towns. After you start to go through this one a little bit, you know, it starts to get a little bit plain. Actually, I haven't played with this all that much, so maybe it doesn't. I played a little bit with this, but not hardly any at all. I'm really trying to get through this one, and then probably the deadline afterwards. This is a very difficult game. Definitely. And I guess I could throw out a disclaimer now. If you do not like reading in video games at all, like I personally don't like reading. It's not one of my favorite things to do, right? I was not a big reader in school and all that sort of thing, but this game is actually okay. I don't mind it. I actually like this game quite a bit, even though a lot of the gameplay has to do with reading. I'll get into exactly what it is in a little bit. So, this one's roadkill. Basically, you have to repair a damaged vehicle and drive it to safety. Scavenge parts by any means. So basically, there's no time limit. You just have to jump into it. I'll get into that a little bit as we start. So first of all, I'll start the game. And this is basically where you're going to be figuring out what happens each hour of every day. So this is what I'm saying about if you hate reading in games, you probably won't like this game. You know, there's a map, and this is where a lot of the actions take place. But we'll start off and go through this a little bit. I'll probably start skimming and just like mentioning the important stuff a little bit later on, but for now I'll read through everything. So basically, we made it. Among our fragile group, we have a cleaner, librarian, athlete, chef, and engineer. This is absolutely terrible for me to start off with. Like one of the worst groups I think I've had in this game. So this is probably not going to be the best playthrough, but you know, we'll give it our best shot. So basically, these classes are all good and bad at different things. And when I'm reading through these, cleaner, librarian, chef, and engineer are going to be pretty terrible at actually fighting zombies. So I really only have one person that's really good at fighting. An engineer will probably be okay. Maybe a chef will be okay with like knives or something like that. But all of this is sort of random. The stuff that you have with you is in general random, but you're always going to have something. So we started off with a weapon, some tools, some food, and no medical supplies. The five of us are very wary of each other. Daniel isn't adjusting well to the group, but Shannon might be able to hold it all together. So basically, this is relationships in between survivors. If people hate each other, they won't work well together. They won't fight well together, and in general, they could get into fights and start, you know, trying to kill each other. So this basically tells you the basis of the starting relationships. They'll change throughout the game. If I go into this, well, I'll get into that in a second. We'll continue. All right, so we met someone at the outskirts of town. He said he was part of a scavenger group looking for some spare parts, but they were attacked, and he was the only one who survived. He said that there might be a vehicle in town that we could possibly patch up if we had the right parts. But there's a catch. The outskirts are infested and getting more dangerous by the day. We'll need to find a map before we even think about leaving. Before leaving, the scavenger said we might want to check 5 Jace Way. So basically we go on here. This is 5 Jace Way. It's already marked on our map. Basically there's a possible vehicle or part. So there's something going to be here if I ever get to this location and loot it and start scavenging for supplies. There'll be something there. So this is the main map where everything goes on. Each one of these cursors is basically one of your people. They have their, you know, respective cursors down here that you can see. You move them around to move them to different buildings using the cursors. You can, you know, click and drag and move them around and stuff like that. Alright, so basically we look at the house area. We can see that it's unsecured. If we click on unsecured, we can see that this number right here is the amount of entrances. It's basically windows, doors, pretty much that's it. So if you try to secure this house by barricading it, you can see over here there's a barricade entrances quickly and loudly. your people will slowly try to barricade each entrance up. They'll try to secure it first, and then they'll add barricades to fortify it. You can also create traps inside of it, so when zombies break into specific rooms, you have certain different traps that can go off. It's basically random which ones they create and stuff like that. Basically, you tell your survivors what to do, and they basically like take the action that will best get the job done. Like they'll pick up their supplies on their own. You generally don't have to equip them. You just have to give them the supplies to get the job done. So we see searched. It's 50% clear. That means half the rooms in the house have been searched. There's no zombies inside. There's no corpses. So corpses will make your food spoil if you leave corpses around your house. Everybody's idle, and then this is where you set your orders for what you want to do. So generally, I want to search the location so I can throw on a couple people. This the color here is how good they get along. So if I throw Shannon here, she gets along well, and then Brian gets along well with both of them. They can look for anything useful or all of these sorts of things. For right now, I'll throw in anything useful. Generally, you want to be watching for zombies, but for the first day, usually zombies don't do much to you. So we have 3 people searching. Is one of them the athlete? Alright, I'm going to take off an athlete because she has to go exploring. We have to start looking for where we're going to move to next. So I'm going to explore the store down here. So basically you can see under the orders of this building, she's moving to investigate the store. This is where you can equip people, sort of. You can basically have them take stuff with them. The thing is, investigating isn't actually all that dangerous. If I had binoculars, they would help, or flashlight, or something like that. That would help her actually see zombies around this location. That would help her. But other than that, she really doesn't need anything. What else could I do? Will anyone get along with these guys? Alright, we'll throw on Casey for that, and then Daniel's good at modifying items, so we'll do something like assault. That will probably start working on the handgun that I have. See, I have a handgun here. It'll probably make it so there's less recoil, I think, is what increases assault. So he'll start to work on that, and then these guys will start searching. Let's see, is there anything else I should mention? If you right-click on them, this is basically the stats, so you can figure out who is who. So basically the athlete's going to be pretty good. You can see here, the athlete has 5 stars. This is going to be any sort of action that may interact with zombies. So investigate, assault. If I go back to here, you can breach a location that's entering it to, try to take it over and loot it. And then assault is basically running up and trying to take out zombies around the location to make it a little bit more safe than for when you actually breach it, because breaching is dangerous. Once you start breaching in a location, you have to complete it until all the zombies are dead inside of it. So it can get to a pretty big mess if you don't notice that there's a ton of zombies at a location and you just try to enter it. Okay, so if you right-click on this, like if I go back here and I said something about Shannon might be able to hold everyone together. So if I go to this point and click on Shannon, she's probably going to have good relationships with everyone. But you have Daniel here who's not really interacting well with the people. And you can see that the darker red are worse relationships with people. And then each one of these has a little bit about them. This is all random, basically. And it matters because some people have like prejudice towards middle class. Well, I could look at maybe this guy is a middle class, this guy is a middle class, he's poor. But you get the kind of general idea. And then you can use rumors to basically increase people's fondness of other people, like their what do you call it? I don't know. There's a word that I'm thinking of, but I can't think of it right now. But their like outlook on people. I know there's a word for it that I'm thinking of, but it's just not coming to me. But anyway, we'll leave it here for the first turn, just so I can show you guys kind of what happens. So you click this watch. There's also another panel over here. This is basically the stuff that you need to find in order to complete your objective. So these are all little scraps of paper that I can find to help clues on like where maybe the map is, or where the vehicle is, or where parts are, or something like that, and like a picture of the car or something like that. When I find it, it'll become like this, and I can move it around the desk over here. So to take the next turn, you basically click the watch, and 1 hour will go by, and it will write in your diary what happens, and you have to kind of read through it. Or once you get better at learning what actions happen, you can kind of skim through it for the important information. For the first turn, I'll like read everything out. So basically, Daniel is modifying the handgun like I said he would. We found a carving knife, 7 cooking ingredients, 2 snacks, and a sponge in the kitchen. Natalie returned from her recon. Okay, so she returned. I'll have to go to the next page to see what she found out about that place. We found a cooking ingredient, 2 snacks in the kitchen, and a spanner in the basement. Shannon notes there are 2 showers at the house, so that's going to keep people a little bit more happy with each other. If someone wants to take a shower and the other one's already in the shower, then generally they start to dislike each other a little bit more. Shannon says half the rooms have now been explored, and found a bandage while exploring. And then if we turn the page, this is the store that I found. The store is a tiny building with around 4 rooms. It has 3 doors and 8 windows, so that's basically how many entrances it'll have if I want to try to barricade it, or if I want to enter it, it has that many possible locations, so if there's zombies at one of them, they'll try to choose one that doesn't have as many zombies around it. Leading in from the outside, this place should contain a cache of medical supplies. Natalie scouted around the perimeter of the store. She counted 0 zombies outside. Peering through the windows, she saw 3 zombies inside. Now, this is not always 100% fact. If it says 3 zombies inside, there is 3 zombies at least inside. However, you have to have a way of seeing the zombie for it to come back, for you to see it. If there's no windows, it'll come back as 0 zombies, but there might be 20 zombies inside. So there's at least 3. But there could be some that I can't spot. Maybe there's a basement at a certain building, or anything like that, and that won't register when you see zombies unless there's a window. Alright, so we have 75% of this explored, so we can keep these guys searching for one more turn. Let's see, Natalie was the one that I was going to have exploring. Did I get anything that would help me? I did not. Alright, so also if you hold your mouse over all of these things, you can notice that it has cooking, quietness, close combat, and assault. Basically everything can be used for different jobs. My crowbar is okay at barricading. It's not great. If I had a hammer, it would be better, or something like that. A spanner, I think that's some sort of a wrench. I'm not 100% sure. Sponge is good for cleaning, obviously. Cooking ingredients, you can turn those into meals. One of the actions that you can give your people is you can have them prepare meals. Barricade entrances, create a distraction. If you create a distraction, the zombies from maybe a block around will come and flock next to the house for a certain amount of time. And then you have to get out of there and go to somewhere else. It's a good way of getting certain buildings that are infested with zombies. In general, zombies tend to flock to the important buildings. A police station is one that I've never gotten access to. I think I've gotten there once, and I've noticed that there's riot gear and good weapons there, but I've never been able to actually take it over because there's 20 or 30 zombies inside of it usually. Same as bars are pretty heavily occupied, and universities. Oh, that was a library, but there's a university somewhere over here, right here. Alright, so I think this is pretty much good. We can go on to the next turn. Alright, so we found a flashlight, a mop, screwdriver, and a silenced handgun in the basement. Daniel finally finished his work on the handgun. He made a recoilless handgun. It is now better at assaulting and breaching locations. Right, so a lesser recoiled handgun is better at close combat, so when you're assaulting or breaching. You could, do it, you could set him to, instead of assault, you could set him to sniping, although that's not on here yet because I don't have anything that could be attached with a scope or something like that. There's a lot of different things you could do. So I'm guessing he's going to get to start to work on the silenced handgun. I would like it to be a recoilless silenced handgun. That would be good. I could take that with me. Turn the bed into scrap. They'll do this stuff automatically. There's furniture in the house that they'll turn to scrap to help them do whatever they need with the items that you're trying to modify. There we go. All right. We found an angle grinder that'll be good at certain engineering tasks. Probably the guy that's working on the handgun will try to make use of that. A baseball bat and a wrench. Almost all the rooms have been searched. 7 zombies inside. So far I haven't found any locations that are really going to be easy for me to get into. 7 and 3 is pretty dangerous, especially when I only have one person that's really good at fighting and then a couple that are mediocre. So I guess I'll have to check that store next. So we'll just go to the next turn here. Alright, so we found a motorcycle helmet, sledgehammer, bottle of spirits, can of gasoline, and that's pretty much it. Halfway through modifying the silenced handgun. Is this... okay, so it's still at 88%. Natalie's back, so we'll send her out to explore this store. I could explore this warehouse, but generally warehouses have a decent amount of zombies. Now you're noticing there's some zombies around. These red X's here are zombies that could possibly come into this house next turn. So what I want to do is I want to get one of these guys off, maybe Casey, because he's not as good, and we're going to put him on watch for zombies. This will give me a heads up if any zombies try to enter the building, and won't be a surprise. Daniel created a recoilless silenced handgun, is now better at assaulting locations, modifying a baseball bat. Cache of weapons, but 5 zombies inside. Yeah, that's going to be pretty difficult to get into, although I'd really like to get in there because it does have a cache of weapons. So I may try to assault this location instead of breach it, and see if I can draw any of the zombies out or anything like that. Or if I can get to this house, I might go there first, see if I can find some more weapons before I try to go on to this store. Alright, so they're still searching. Natalie returned from her recon at the store of Four Links Drive, found a snack. All the rooms have been searched. Okay. So now we have all of these people that aren't really doing anything. I still need to search that house. I'm going to have her take a flashlight. That'll help. If you notice, it's good. It's best at searching, but it's okay at spotting. So it'll help her spot zombies be a little bit more accurate. It'd be better if I had binoculars. Or I can modify this flashlight to like an intense flashlight so it has a longer beam and it's easier to spot with, but it might be a little less effective at searching. Alright, and then for the rest of these people, we'll have maybe one of them start to prepare some meals. Because I'm not planning on staying in this house for long. I don't have that many supplies, so I need to keep moving. So I'm not going to worry about barricading or anything like that. Well, Shannon's pretty terrible at everything, so we're just going to have her watch for zombies as well. Alright, so we got a hardened baseball bat, now better at assaulting locations. Daniel's modifying a wooden spoon. I don't think I need a wooden spoon to help me assault locations, so I'm probably going to have him stop that. And prepared 2 meals. That's pretty much all the important stuff there. 8 rooms. Okay, so Natalie thinks this place is empty. That's usually a good thing. A lot of the times when they don't see any zombies, they'll still hear zombies inside. So this would appear to be an empty location to me. That's looking good for me. I'm probably going to head in there this turn. So we're going to have Natalie go in and see if anyone can support her. Casey or Brian would be the best. So let's take off Casey and take off Brian and see if any of them work well together. Alright, so they both work reasonably well with her. The problem is they work terribly with each other. So which one is which? A chef and Casey's the other one? Oh yeah, definitely send the cleaner in. Cleaners are pretty useless, so if he's decent at fighting and he ends up getting killed, it won't be the worst thing in the world. Well, it kind of will be, because these 5 survivors are all you're going to have. So losing one this early would be pretty terrible. We'll take the recoilless silenced handgun with all the ammo, motorcycle helmet, hardened baseball bat, and we need one more hand-to-hand weapon just in case for the guy who has the silenced handgun. So let's see. Crowbars are okay, sledgehammers are alright. I think I'll take the sledgehammer. And then probably load up on some of the snacks that I'm going to take to that house. And there, you can see the weight here. This is all that I can carry currently. Motorcycle helmet will help me kind of defend myself a little bit. You can get certain things like that that will be kind of defense. Alright, so these guys are going to breach the house. Or attempt to. So basically you also want to send them tools. Like you notice I took this sledgehammer. That should help me get into that house, because if they don't have any tools, they have to try to like break in and like break a window, which the sledgehammer might have to do anyway. I don't have a hammer or anything that might help me get in a little bit easier, like take the door off the hinges or something. Alright, and then we have Brian, who is idle. And Brian hates everybody, it seems like. I'm wondering if there's anything I can do about this, because these relationships are pretty terrible right now. So I'm going to try to get this guy. What is his problem? He has a prejudice towards the wealthy. Are these guys all wealthy? middle class, poor, poor. No, they're all kind of different. We could have Daniel say something about poor people because we have 3 other poor people, 1 wealthy person. So if this person, if I can spread a rumor that he did like charity for poor people, he was like interviewed on television, offering his services free of charge to uneducated poor people. Although we can look to see how much education is between everyone. University education, uneducated, uneducated. So the person that has university and is like wealthy is probably going to hate the fact that this happened, but it'll increase his relationship with these 3 people. So we'll try that for a turn. And what else can he do? I guess he can go back to preparing small meals. Alright. Uh-oh, that's not good. Blood is not good. Oh man. I told you guys this wouldn't go well. Generally, it's better if you can start off with like a police officer and an athlete, or a firefighter and an athlete, or anything like that. Those 3 classes are the best, and if you can start out with at least 2 of those, it helps when you are fighting these early zombies without any equipment. Alright, well, a rumor spread around the group. Through his work as an engineer, he was interviewed on television for offering his services free of charge for uneducated poor people. On hearing the rumor, Casey, Natalie, and Brian became closer to Daniel. Shannon was indifferent. Shannon and Daniel arguing has escalated to a fight, and Shannon ended up with a broken leg. So it wasn't even zombies, it was just the fact that these guys started to argue. Okay, Daniel finished his work. He has a devastating wooden spoon. It is now better at assaulting and breaching locations. Prepared a small meal. Shannon reported that the house is surrounded by a small number of zombies. She added that the noise level is low. Hopefully the zombies will not be interested. Casey and Natalie approached the house with the intention of breaking in. It was an easy place to get access to, so they didn't have to spend much time finding a way inside. They headed to a small second-story window leading to the 3rd bedroom. It took no time at all to get inside using the sledgehammer the pair brought along. Casey received some bruising. They had to take out 1 zombie before they could break in. There are no zombies in the 3rd bedroom. The whole location is silent. Alright, so this place has no zombies anymore. The problem is these 2 people are injured, and I do not have a splint, or possibly don't have a bandage for this person, or I think he actually needs painkillers. I have a bandage, but that's not going to help the broken leg. So this isn't going well for me already. I might end the video here. I might actually try to get into this house before I end the video, and we'll try to pick it up on a part 2 of this game. Although I do think that I may end up dying pretty quickly in this playthrough, but we'll give it a try. And you guys can like let me know your opinions of the game if you want me to keep doing videos of it or not. I'm basically gonna play this probably until I beat both of the 2 levels. I've gotten very close a couple times. Take the angle grinder. We'll leave the bottle of spirits. They usually just get angry at each other because they won't drink. Carving knife. Oh no, I'm out of weight already. Alright, well I have to at least take a flashlight. I'll leave the rest of it. And then these guys are all going to breach. Basically, even though it says that they're breaching, the other 2 will let them in. They won't have to like break a window or anything like that. And then we'll have 1 person watch for zombies, 1 person search the location. And might as well go for weapons and ammo. And then I'll do 1 more turn. Alright, so this is one of those like pieces of thing. We left a fuel pump at the house at 2 Wallace Way. So I can go on the map and find like 2 Wallace Way right here. And I can mark the location, maybe edit a note and say like, you know, part here or something. And then if I enter, it has a little question mark, and I can hold my mouse over it so I remember. So you don't have to go through and look at this journal every single time you want to find something. You know, the same thing is I could mark this. Generally, I like mark it with a solid circle, means it has weapons inside. So I kind of want to go here eventually when I can take out 5 zombies. You know, you notice that 1 zombie even injured me. That's pretty rare if you had better people that are better at fighting. The main thing is cleaners are not good at fighting, so you know it's going to be difficult for him to actually do a good job. at breaching into a location. Alright, so we found a note. Everyone's happy about the discovery. Found an angle grinder, hacksaw, and a pair of brass knuckles in the basement. Found a pair of pliers. 2 showers at the house. Half the rooms have been searched. Bottle of spirits when exploring. Alright, so that is going to be the first part of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's kind of a unique game. I like it just because it's very difficult. I like the difficulty of certain games. I like games that kind of make you think. The only problem that I find is like a lot of the stuff that you do goes on under the hood. So when something goes badly, you don't know exactly why it went badly. Like when I was entering this building, there was only one zombie. Technically, I feel like I should have been able to take that with 2 people, but I still got minor contusions. Now these will heal over time, but it's better if you have something that you can treat an injured survivor with. With medical supplies, the problem is my medical supplies consist of 1 bandage. And the broken left leg, I need a splint for it. Minor contusions, I believe that's like bruising. I think I need painkillers for that, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, that has been Zafehouse Diaries. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.